Hello everyone and welcome to Game 4 now in this series between TSL's Hyun and Empire's Kaz. Now, a couple players, or I got a couple comments on why do I keep on casting Kaz and Hyun and all of these games. There haven't been really good games going back and forth. Well, I beg to differ in terms of the quality of these games. I know it isn't GSL Code S style of play, but then again, GSL Code S players are in a different league. I believe this is the finals of the Zotac Cup, so perhaps one of the higher amateur tournaments or pro amateur tournaments out there. And both of these players really just made a lot of mistakes in terms of over-evaluating their positions more than anything else. The gameplay has been pretty solid, as we now see an Overlord doing a little bit of a curious scouting pattern, and it will be scouting over here to see when gas is taken. Now this is Antigua Shipyard. Hyun is spawning here at the 2 o'clock position, Kaz spawning here at the 8 o'clock position. Kaz the green Terran. And meanwhile, over here in the red shorts, we see Hyun, and I believe Hyun should be opening up with a fast hatchery, and it looks as though Kaz is going to be opening up with command center first. So CC first, and if Hyun goes for a hatchery first, he will also be forced to set up a third hatchery very quickly. Now, Zerg players in general do like to run up on 3 bases here on Antigua Shipyard. The problem normally is the 4th base. Trying to establish your 4th base, the center is very difficult to take, especially when going up against a Terran with siege tanks. And this base isn't really that viable either. Taking down these destructible rocks still means that you really open yourself to multiple angles of attack. And even with a very good creep spread, Zerglings still take time in order to get where they need to go. Low ground barracks is being placed down. A drone now attempting to harass this one SCV here. It looks like the SCV down to 15 hit points. Will it get taken down? No, it will not. Down to 10 hit points. Still able to stay alive. And this drone is out for some SCV blood, and it looks like it may be able to get it. No, SCV now down to 5 hit points as the drone doing a little bit of a dance back and forth. Will Hyun once again be able to get first blood here? You can see that it is a third hatchery before a spawning pool here, so Hyun really aggressive economically. And if Kaz all of a sudden just decides to throw down 2 more barracks and do very heavy marine pressure, I don't believe that Hyun will be able to really fend it off and still be able to keep up with his drone production. Hyun sitting on 16 drones in his main base already. No real reason to transfer to the natural, since this is the perfect saturation for no diminishing returns. Instead, just going to rally more drones off to this base off over here. Now, Kaz deciding to choose... Nope, I take it back. I was going to say Kaz was deciding to go a different route than the double refinery that he did last game, since the double refinery didn't work. But it looks as though he will be going for double refinery once more. Both of these players are just sitting up, resting, and will be macroing inside their bases for quite some time. Extractor is already up for Hyun. He should be able to get metabolic boost, but he really needs to get more of those queens into play, perhaps even 6 queens, in order to start that creep spread. The walking distances between these 2 bases rather far, and any sort of movement speed advantage that gets your army units to the other side of the map faster is key. Movement is very important in terms of combat. If your units aren't in combat, they can't deal damage. Marines now holding the center zone Naga Tower there. There are 5 Marines. 7, I believe, is the magic number in order to take down a Zergling. If you do not account for... sorry, is it 5? 5 times 6, no, yeah. I think, yeah, 7 is the magic number if you do not account for natural regeneration, but then again, 7 times 6 is 42, so no real harm there. Now, Hyun is going to end up losing these 4 drones as the Marines now making their way up. How much damage can they really do, as Queens are still not out on the field at the 3rd? And so far, only 2 queens down, and this time we see a much more heavy Zergling play coming in from Hyun, now going into metabolic boost and training up 10 Zerglings. 6 more Zerglings going to be added to that, And where are these Zerglings possibly going to go? As the Marines are very far out on the other side of the map, and this could be very bad news, as the Zerglings are just simply going to surround, finish off all the Marines right as Metabolic Boost does finish, and Hyun getting in a lot of damage there. 7 drones are now being trained. Zerglings now holding the center Zelnaga Tower once more, as the Hellions have to also be very careful. With Metabolic Boost, those Zerglings can easily surround a Hellion and take it down well before the Hellion can stop and react in time to actually finish off those Zerglings. There you go, there's a little bit of an attack trying to finish off and now make a run inside the main base. Zerglings getting a good flank, getting in some shots here, perhaps trying to go after some Marauders. But all those Zerglings are lost, as Hyun now at 62 supply compared to Kaz's 57. Harvester count does show an 8 worker advantage for the Zerg. Now what you don't really see is that the Harvester advantage for Hyun is higher, as his drones are mining much more efficiently. 40 drones, that means that I believe some of these SCVs are more than doubled up here. You can see an Overlord now making its way in. It looks like double engineering bay upgrades once more in order to get 1-1 Marines rather quickly. But this Overlord scouts this all, and he knows to expect a lot of infantry. Will we see a tech to tier 2 alongside fungal growth again, as we are now going into 12 drones, 14 drones, and that is going to be huge once more. 14 drones giving a huge advantage economically. Hyun is upside down in supply, now 48 compared to 46, as the Zerglings now trying to finish off all of these Hellions and Marauders in the center portion. Hyun is in a bit of a retreat as the Marauders and the Hellions push out across the map. Hyun is in trouble. Does he have enough Queens? Does he have enough Banelings? That is going to be the key question there, as a lot of larvae are being added. 300 minerals, 250 gas. The Hellions now looking to take down some of these creep tumors. Perhaps the scanner sweep will be coming in as the Banelings try to splash in here. The Banelings unable to get off any true damage onto these units, trying to get some damage, able to take down some of these units here as a new round of Banelings comes in. The Banelings trading inefficiently against a lot of the Marauders, but still some damage was dealt. And as the reinforcements are coming in faster and faster for Hyun, Hyun may actually come out ahead, as we are now going into 26 Zerglings. The Marauders and the Marines realize that they need to get away, but it's going to be too little too late for those juiced up Zerglings. The Zerglings should easily be able to surround the Marauders and the Hellion if they get anywhere past this location here. Third command center already being built by Kaz. Harvester count is 54 to 52. We do have a macro hatch here by Hyun, and no real workers lost by either side. 61 Harvesters now compared to 53. We look and see still Hellions in the center portion alongside Marauders and the Marines. 1-1 upgrades for those infantry about to be completed, but same thing as Hyun now starting his 1-1 upgrades for his Zerglings and Banelings. Zerglings now getting a very good surround, going to be able to finish off all of the Hellions. Perhaps the Banelings going to be able to finish off some of these Marauders, as well as the splash damage effective enough against this tightly packed group of Marauders. The Baneling trying to make its way in, unable to, and now Hyun with a 94 compared to 80 supply advantage. Hyun is in good control, 61 drones compared to 58. Still, I have to give Kaz a slight economic advantage, as Kaz is attempting to establish up his third base. Zerglings now trying to press forward here, not going to really work out. The Marauders do have concussive shell, but the Zerglings are simply way too fast, as Hyun now backing away and doing a transition tech change into Mutalisk. 9 Mutalisk being added, 9 drones also being added, so we are going to have an advancement in terms of overall economy and a very effective harassment technique. Movement speed upgrade also coming in across all of those Banelings, as we see the creep tumors are doing a good job spreading about a quarter of the map. Level 2 infantry upgrades, siege tanks and siege tech about to be completed. 18 more Banelings now looking to come in, as SCVs transferring to the to the third. 63 SCVs versus 70 drones, as the Mutalisks are simply just going to fly in and now take down some SCVs. SCVs trying to run away. SCVs are getting destroyed left and right, as the Marines have been unable to really get in anywhere. Stim Marines now coming back in, but the Mutalisks have found a new opening and now going to get in a little bit more damage. This one particular expansion is still ripe for the picking, as the Mutalisks should be able to fly over there and get in position. More Marines now making their way over. Do these Mutalisks know about that base? Yes, they do, as they're able to see that orbital command. Marines now coming in, as Banelings now charging in across the center of the Banelings. If they're able to find these Marines, could cause a lot of problems, as Banelings are splashing up against all those Marines. A new round of Zerglings and Banelings looking to come in. Zerglings going to surround here, and Hyun going to lose a whole bunch of Marines and perhaps some siege, or sorry, yeah, Kaz going to lose a whole bunch of Marines and siege tanks. Both sides taking a lot of losses, and the overall army advantage goes to Hyun, as Hyun does have 39 Zerglings and 1 Mutalisk, training up 14 more Zerglings. Kaz with pretty much nothing left to really show. 1 siege tank, 7 or 8 Marines, and now the Zerglings are going to be able to run rabid inside this third, and this is always what you worry about when you fight against a Zerg player. Those high movement speed and advantage units able to pretty much be anywhere they need to be. And right now they're needed at taking down the orbital command, or perhaps taking down a couple of these missile turrets. The missile turret already down to 130, 194, 87, 69. It will get taken down. There it goes. As we now see Zerglings still sitting in the center. 23 supply difference. 10 more Mutalisks being added, so complete retrain on those 10 Mutalisks. 2,000 resources right there. But will it be well spent? Marines are already upgraded. They are currently sitting at 2-1 upgrades, meaning that they're going to be able to deal a lot more damage to those Mutalisks, and those Mutalisks are able to deal back. A 4th base now coming in from Hyun. If Hyun can actually get this base to at least pay for itself in terms of overall cost, then he's going to be a happy camper, as he knows that this base needs to get taken down, and it will end up buying time for Hyun to perhaps regroup his army. Mutalisks now looking to come in, and how much damage can they do? Finds a missile turret. 1 missile turret quickly destroyed at the cost of 1 Mutalisk, and now attempting to take down more and more SCVs. SCVs are getting taken down rather quickly, and now all the SCVs at the main base have pretty much have been killed. Mutalisks now looking to make their way down over here to the natural. Are they going to be able to get in any shots here? I don't believe so, as the Marines are simply chasing them away. We are going into a 4th base. Kaz wants to establish up this center location here. I don't know if that creep tumor could make it down fast enough in order to block it. I believe so, and if that creep tumor can block it, that would be the most brilliant use of a creep tumor ever, and nope, unable to do so. Hyun now just sitting on creep, making sure that nothing can really land here. Command center will be forced to lift off in just a second, but there are already Mutalisks nearby, and not quite sure what that was about, as the command center will get taken down. The Marines now pushing back the command center down to 154 hit points. SCVs need to come off the repair line in order to save it, as we now see some drones are mining away at the 4th base. So Hyun still coming out ahead, and now sitting at 190 supply compared to Kaz's 160. Zerglings now wandering around, and this is a very heavy Zergling Baneling army. The medevac now looking to come in, and how much damage can this medevac truly do? Not very much of anything, as the Banelings finish off the rest of those Marines, and now Mutalisks look to finish off the medevac. Medevac is taking a lot of damage so far. 1 Mutalisk could be traded in this exchange. Down goes a couple more Marines, as the 4 Marines make sure that there is no hidden expansion at the 12 o'clock location. 195 versus 158, 41 Banelings now being added, and with this many Banelings, 41 Banelings with 25, so 66 Banelings could easily take down this entire platoon of Marines. Here we go. Here comes the engagement. Zerglings and Mutalisks coming in. Banelings trying to find their way. Will the Banelings finish off a lot of the Marines? Yes, they do. And the Banelings could finish off more Marines here. Another round of Banelings coming in. And it looks as though the Marines are doing their best to survive, but simply too many Banelings. So many Banelings, as the Banelings are going to be able to run inside the main base now. Are those SCVs going to fall? No, they are not, as Kaz says GG, forcing Game 5 in this Best of 5 series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 4.